we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcast, plus also as well, Game Source, Inside Sports Fantasy Football. Guess who showed up again this week? It was none other than Magic Man Sean Grice and Joe Soro, along with me and Chris Ardieri. We talked NFL Week 5. And again, if you have a fantasy football team, I'll give you a hint. Bye week, make sure you look at your team before Sunday morning so that you can go ahead and plan this stuff out because your team or some of your players on your team could be on a bye week. So check that out. Plus, we give you a lot of information on what's going on with some of the teams in the NFL. We also talk about the rookie sensation at wide receiver. We talk about that if he can keep on going. Please go ahead and check it out today, Inside Sports Fantasy Football. Also, as well, talking about everything that's going on with LakersBall.com. Joe Soro, who we do not know if he's going to join us today. We don't know. I haven't heard from him. He's coming. He says he's busy. I'm sorry. He says he's busy. Mr. Joe Soro from Simblades. Hopefully he's doing Simblade stuff. Simblades with a Y.com. Also, as well, you know he's doing stuff with Lakers Ball, Ox 1947. And now that the season's back up and running, the training camp is here, exhibition season is around the corner in a couple days. He's going to be talking a lot there as well as Ox 1947 at LakersBall.com. Also, as well, you can go ahead and check out it. Magic Man had on some extra curricular activities there going on, so apologize for that. Also, as well, go ahead and check out Laker Tom, the number one Lakers blogger that's out there. You can go ahead and check him out today at Lakerholics.com. Plus, our good friend Jamie Sweet, aka Yami Swoot, aka Admiral Akbar. He's doing his 5 things. That's coming back for this season. You know that's going to happen at Lakerholics.com. Also, as well, our good friends, Lakers in 5, Empire Jeff TV, and also as well, John McCallion. Please subscribe today to those great YouTube channels so you can get some great talk, not only conversation with John McCallion, but also as well, talking some great NBA and some Lakers when we're not out on the air at Lakers in 5, and also as well, Empire Jeff TV. But make sure, subscribe there. And speaking of subscribing, if you've not clicked on the little Joe with the beady eyes, I know so already been some requests if there can be a Sean little icon there. I don't know. There's not really that. Sean, you're going to have to make some kind of weird, quirky face that I have to catch sometime at some point in time. Natural type deal so that it looks really legit. But I haven't found that je ne sais quoi moment yet to go ahead and click on that. So we found Joe. We just have to say Nerlens Noel, and yeah, the eyes will pop out again. So exactly. So go ahead and click on, for now, the little Joe with the beady eyes to go ahead and get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break podcast. Search and destroy. Great job as always. I know you've been busy. I know you got a lot of stuff on your plate right now. Just truly appreciate all the help that you can get in moderating us. Darren's already in the chat. The best Lakers chat room that's out there is the Lakers Fast Break. Dante, great to have you here. All I heard from Joe is that he is busy, so I do not know if he's going to join us tonight, but we still got a lot to talk about. And here today to go ahead and talk about what's going on with the Lakers, Joel Embiid, and so much more. Good man indeed. He is the superstar because he appeared this evening on Let's Go Warriors with over 165,000 subscribers. He was on the air talking Lakers and Warriors. Good man indeed. He's the madman for Toronto. He did get out of Toronto traffic, coming out of the limousine as a superstar from his efforts on Let's Go Warriors to come over here and talk to us little people today. It is the Magic Man, Sean Grice. And Magic Man, as Nick and I said before, you killed it on Let's Go Warriors. Great to have you here, my friend, talking Lakers basketball.
Back where it started, Gerald. Back where
Yep.
it started. Thank you very much. Yeah, it was nice hopping on with the channel. A little cross promotion from both. We're mutualistic on this channel. We believe in helping out other people as they help out us. So, big thank you to Rich too, and Let's Go Warriors. But we're at home, Gerald. We're at the Lakers Fast Break.
Absolutely. Let's go Lakers. But, can we get another 164,000 subscribers? That would be kind of cool. Be kind of cool if that number below me says 165 in the not too distant future as well. That's the hope, that you can find enough people out there, or we can find enough people out there that can support us. So definitely looking as far as good in that sense. We are growing, we are gaining subscribers, and we're truly appreciative of that. But if you can, please let a friend out there or someone in your life or a Lakers fan, random on the street, just yell at them. Of course, as you're driving by or running by, so you don't get hurt, because these days somebody whip out a gun at you or something like that. So please don't do that. But go ahead if you can and just yell out Lakers fast break on YouTube. There you go. Absolutely. That'd be good. I've done it. Scared the person silly. I did it indeed. But Magic Man, let me bring you back in here because the first news of the day is in regards to LeBron James. It was announced that LeBron James will not be playing on the exhibition opener or in the exhibition opener this Saturday, which is against Golden State. And then they also talked about he, I think, modernized his verbiage on his future for the exhibition season, saying he'll probably try half the games, maybe more, depending on how he feels. I wanted to ask you this, and that's the first chunk of our conversation today, is exactly what are your thoughts on this? He is going to be 39 in December. Obviously, the less time on the court right now and saving more for the beginning of the season would be better. Your thoughts on LeBron James being out for the first exhibition opener against Golden State?
Yeah, you know what, Gerald? I'm not shouldn't come as a surprise, I guess. Um, I think it's just keeping the powder dry for now. I think when it comes to rotations, minutes, it didn't shock me that he's not going to play. Actually, as a matter of fact, he's probably as interested in seeing Prince or Rui starting as much as Darvin Ham is, Gerald. Considering the fact that better get used to it, baby, as the song says. I think he's gonna sit out a handful of games here, Gerald. So just gonna have to adjust, and other guys are just gonna have to be motivated to try and make a bigger impact. Like I said, I think Darvin Ham's trying to play the old switcheroo here with the media, especially and the fans by in one day Vando is a starter with the purple shirts, and then the next day it's Torian Prince. Make up your mind what you will. I think either one of those gentlemen or both could definitely be in the starting lineup on Saturday. Um, I think he'll probably play Monday, Gerald, because that's a home game. I can definitely see him playing Monday. I see him playing in your Las Vegas. I think the Vegas game is probably a good bet. I doubt he plays against the Bucks. I doubt he plays in that Palm Springs game, Gerald. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the last preseason game. I believe it's against Phoenix. But yeah, I half expect them to play in the Nets game, maybe one or two others. But yeah, I think it's mostly just easing LeBron into what's going on right now.
I will say though, I agree with what they're doing and how they're playing it out with LeBron. You don't want to overtax him. You don't really need to go ahead and have him be out there for these exhibition games, maybe 1, 2 games tops for me. That'll probably cut it for him heading into the season. You've already seen in the footage shown earlier today all over social media. He's trying to shoot and make a whole ton of threes. He's already trying to go ahead and slam the ball with very
That
much
that
little
that
ease.
dunk
Yeah,
was at
yeah.
30, almost 39 years old, Gerald.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Give me a break. He looks like he's ready. He looks like he's ready to go. It looks like he's already in great physical shape. We've already have shown pictures here on the site on the YouTube page. He already looks in fantastic shape. So it really doesn't seem to me like they need to go ahead and expend too much energy. The only thing is him getting accustomed to the lineup, although he has already played with D'Lo and Austin already, it still comes to the fact that there's still issues about who will be that fifth man. That's not going to get cleared up by anything on Saturday because since LeBron is out, you're going to have two players in there. One of them was probably only going to be the end up being the person at the end of the day that's going to end up being the starter. So your thoughts on how that's going to play out as far as on Saturday night against Golden State?
My guess is, Gerald, they rotate, but my guess is I think Prince starts at the 3, and Vando still starts at the 4.
Yeah, I think that's what you're going to see, or you could see, yeah, like I said, Prince, or you could see Rui. It just I don't want to take too much from what's going to be presented out there as a starting lineup on
Yeah,
Saturday
no.
because, yeah, you really can't get a whole lot out of it because LeBron's not in there. I think as you get closer to the end of the exhibition season, just barring any injuries, of course, the last two games is when you're going to really see them ramp up as far as them working together a little bit more as far as the minutes to get them together playing well, but also give us an idea who will be in that starting lineup. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the two markers I'm kind of watching, as Gerald said, you can't really make a fair evaluation one way or the other absent LeBron from the starting lineup. But it'll be interesting to see how Darvin Ham plays Gabe Vincent with either D'Lo or Austin Reeves. Gerald, that's one thing I'll be paying attention to. The second, it will obviously be Christian Wood. What ideas does Darvin have for Christian Wood? Does he see him playing with LeBron or and AD? Well, we're not going to find out Saturday. So, who else does he think would fit beside Christian Wood other than AD? That's the other interesting little wrinkle that I'll be paying attention for, Joe. But you're right. Overall, can't take a whole lot out of that preseason game, good or bad.
Yeah.
No
I'm sure we'll
LeBron.
have thoughts because we'll come
Yeah.
on post game. We'll also have it on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. I was actually looking at the channel today trying to find some footage for the little intro clip that hopefully we'll be able to play. So I'm trying to go ahead and look into that. But yeah, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break looks like it's ready. You even have an app. You can even, if you wanted to go ahead and get the app out there for your phone, you can watch along with us, playback.tv. Definitely would appreciate it. Again, we're
It
trying to go ahead and have a lot of people for our games. And then, of course, the post game is always right here, YouTube, Facebook, and wherever you get your podcasts. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, Gerald. I know we're going to probably deal with it at points during the season, but I see our audience, along with everybody else apparently in the NBA, knows how much we detest Darvin Ham's 3 guard lineup, and I just can't help but think, because Golden State is going small, that it's almost like a natural snake charmer for Darvin Ham to be hypnotized enough to use a 3 guard lineup. Um, I hope he doesn't go that route. And we can't make heads or tails really of the other team on the other side. They're missing their starter. A little different look with Draymond Green not in there and Chris Paul in the starting lineup. Really small. It almost feels like that's a train wreck waiting to happen for Darvin Ham and his 3 guard lineup, Gerald.
Ugh, we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it. We've got nothing but love for you, Z. Zangerstein, one of our awesome individuals that's part of our chat on a regular basis. That's the I don't want to say it's the antichrist for her, is the 3 guard lineup, but it's pretty darn close. In the season, as I was just talking on the Pop Culture Cosmos, horror season has now arrived. You got The Exorcist coming into theaters. You had Saw X coming out just a couple weeks ago. Right now, my friend, the next horror movie for Lakers fans that comes out is going to be called 3 guard lineup. Just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah.
That's
I think Z would have a different name for it, but yes, that's that's pretty good, Gerald. We'll have to tease her next time about that.
absolutely. But once again, it's the Lakers Fast Break. It is the Magic Man, Sean Grice, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much for watching, listening. I truly appreciate everyone out there. Kurt Affairs in the chat. Intel Wild. Darren, always great to have you here. Dante, Mission 24. Empire Jeff, Lakers in 5. Always great to have everyone here as part of the great community that we have. The best Lakers chat room that's out there, the Lakers Fast Break. Search and Destroy, moderating it all. Bloodhound is here as well. Three guard lineup, Darvin Ham's cover band. Yeah, absolutely. If he goes on the road, that's what's going to be the cover band indeed. But Magic Man, let me ask you this. But when we touch on it right now, we're going to go on a few minutes more about with LeBron because again, he is taking the first game off. Could very well take the next game off. Looks like he will play probably only half the games of the exhibition season. I would just have him in for one or two. That's my personal choice. The less you could put him in, the better, because it's not like he hasn't played with AD and a lot, because he has. It's not like he hasn't played with Austin Reeves a lot, because by now he has. Even D'Angelo Russell, he's worked out quite a bit with him. He has. It's the fifth starter. I think it's up to the fifth starter, whoever they put in there, whether it's Prince, whether it's Rui, whether it's Vando, or whether it's Wood, somebody else, whoever they go ahead and ultimately put there in there as the starter. I think it's going to be an easier fit for them because the four players that are mostly aligned with the starting lineup should be able to go ahead and work with each other well already, and they've got that already in place.
Yeah, absolutely, Gerald. When we talk about those four in particular, they've played the most together. Each of them understands what their strengths and weaknesses are. This is a second training camp where they're all using the same vernacular, same audibles. So there's not a language barrier between those four. So you're right. I think it's more incumbent upon that fifth guy to come in and just play a role, and things will take care of itself. The communication, the vernacular, if you're unsure of something, that's when those four guys will come in handy. But you're right, Gerald. There's not a lot to behold for those four. They know exactly what they're doing out there. It's up to that fifth person to assert themselves and fit in with D'Lo, Austin, AD, and LeBron. And you're right, Gerald. Why tax him more than you have to? It doesn't make
It
any
doesn't serve.
logical. No.
Yeah, it's not like they're trying to gel, or because again, they've already played with each other quite a bit in the playoffs when it matters the most. They've already played quite a bit at the LeBron minicamp in San Diego. They've already played quite a bit, or will play quite a bit in training camp. This is something where they've probably got a lot already worked out as far as the kinks that other starting lineups that the Lakers have had issues with, because again, last year they had the most starting lineups in the NBA. That was a problem. Here I see now that they had one starting lineup throughout the playoffs, and that time together, to me, it seems like it's a lot. It's so much. It's so important. And it just means that they could go ahead and Austin Reeves, you could play a lot lighter. You don't have to go ahead and burn him out because he's coming off the extended run with FIBA, with AD. He's now over 30. So you got to make sure and manage his minutes in the exhibition season. It's about time you worry about. In fact, we've gone through exhibition seasons where we haven't won a game. So winning or losing the exhibition isn't really that much of importance. It's just getting a good look at the guys in the rotation and hopefully getting some time together for the starting line to play a little bit with each other. But
Yeah.
everybody's staying healthy.
Yes, absolutely, Gerald. Because if you look at who Darvin Ham had as the nine-man rotation, either Cam Reddish, Max Christie, Jackson Hayes found themselves in that rotation. So if you're one of those guys, obviously your idea is when I get in there, it's like hell on wheels. I need to do everything possible to show my stuff and be that 10th man, because it looks right now, Gerald, as if Darvin's going with like a nine-man lineup and basically figuring out who if he can count on anybody else.
One thing I do want to ask is names that may or may not be in rotation have popped up in recent days. We talked earlier this week about JHS, Jalen Hood Schifino, being the MVP of day one at training camp. Again, you and I will have to see that actually physically on the court because we were not impressed with his summer. But maybe made a leap. Maybe he's made that leap, in working out with the Lakers. And I'm hoping that that's the case because wouldn't it be great to see him progress a lot farther than what we had originally thought he was going to go ahead and do, and keeping my fingers crossed for the kid. Absolutely. Well, today it was more about Max Christie, and in recent days it's been more about Max Christie as well. A lot of eyes are being focused on, a lot of heads being turned about the play from Max Christie. I think he is an X factor in all of this. If he can really, really go ahead and show you a lot of the things that he did in summer league, whether we were as low on JHS as we were as high on Max Christie. If that could continue for Max Christie going throughout the season, starting with maybe a good run to get him solidified in the rotation, because right now his spot is kind of tenuous. What would that mean for the Lakers going forward, my friend?
Oh yeah, it'd be huge, Gerald. That'd be a shot. That'd be a shot in the arm, a boon, a cherry on top. However you want to describe that advantageous situation. Look, I really hope that he turns a corner, not just for the Lakers, but for himself personally. Look, I really think we have a strong three triad guard rotation right now with D'Lo, Gabe, and Austin. It's just I would feel a lot more comfortable, Gerald, and I know everybody else would. With Max Christie, like you said, taking that next step, evolving, becoming a decent off ball shooter where he's shooting 37% off catch and shoots. Um, and look, Gerald, we saw it in summer league. If Christie shows that he's gotten better and he's more adept at his shot selection and making those catch and shoot shots, he will be able to attain more responsibility, Gerald. We've seen this with Darvin Ham and Austin Reeves.
Hmm.
He basically asked Austin to play his basic game, and he did it very well. And as a reward, Gerald, he gave Austin Reeves more responsibility, allowed him to drive, allowed him to play on the ball with both LeBron James and AD coordinating the offense. I'm not quite sure that Max Christie's going to get that kind of responsibility, even if he plays like extremely well, but he'll get playing time. He will get at least 20, 25 minutes of burn if he's making those catch and shoot opportunities. And there's no question, you're right. He is the X factor here because if you have that staple of a four guard quadrant, kind of like a coal chamber, um, that really changes how you have to play the Lakers because you have to. God forbid we say this, but I think you'd have to respect the efficiency of that three guard rotation if Christie was making his shots. I know
Absolutely.
I know Zingerstein doesn't want to hear that, but that's the ultimate logical
He is
deduction.
just short of what you could call him as a small forward, 6'6", but his frame is still not wide enough or large enough or strong enough yet to be called a small forward. But like you
Right.
said, if he's shooting well enough that you got to keep him in the lineup somewhere, playing him alongside two other 6'5" guards or 6'6", however you want to say it, in Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell, that would be a nice quick front line that could be able to, if playing to their talents and level that we hope they would, could really be something that's really good on both ends of the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if Christie's shooting is keeping him in the lineup, then that would also mean that his defense is either like passable or average or really good to in order to keep him in the lineup as well. I mean, there are two prerequisites to playing in a Darvin Ham lineup in a backcourt. You have to shoot and you have to play defense. If you could do both of those, you'll get playing time incessantly with Darvin Ham. If you don't, for whatever reason, he is not opposed to sitting your butt down and trying to play duck duck goose with that off guard lineup to try and figure out somebody you could shoot.
Once again, it is the Magic Man, Sean Grice, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much for watching and listening. It's the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us. Thanks again. Truly appreciate everyone out there in the chat. The best Lakers chat room that's out there is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. One of the things I want to ask you, Magic, is something that's been going on in the chat before we get to Joel Embiid and the evil villain, Michael Malone, aka the Emperor, as they say in Star Wars area and Star Wars universe land. I want to ask you this, my friend, as an Intel Wild, and truly appreciate Intel Wild super chat right there for you. He hopes Christie gives us his max, pardon the pun, this season. See what I did there? Absolutely. Cannot thank you enough for the super chat. So I guess before I go ahead and touch on Cam Reddish and Christian Wood, what are your thoughts again on Christie? Do you think he can really make a contribution so far in the early going? Do you think he'll get the opportunity? Is what I'm going to try and say.
I would think so. I would think, you're really trying to work Gabe Vincent into a role here. At some point, he's going to need somebody in that off guard slot. Gerald, I'd give Max Christie all the opportunity. He played well in summer league. It looks like he's actually developed and worked on his body as well. Um, Look, I understand giving guys second chances, and we know that the Los Angeles Lakers are one of the biggest reclamation project
Got a few
sites,
on this roster. Let's
yeah,
put it
in
that
the
way.
NBA. But the fact of the matter is that I think what holds water here is that um, Rob identified Max Christie as somebody he wanted to see in a Laker uniform, in a Laker mold. I think Rob and Darvin Ham are going to give Max Christie every opportunity to grab minutes in that off guard spot off the bench, Gerald. His defense has to be on point though, Gerald. The shot comes and goes, just like in baseball with hitters. Sometimes you could go into a slump shooting. It happens. But his defense can't tick off. If his defense ticks off as much as his shot does, yeah, he's going to be relegated back to sitting on the bench and just watching and observing.
All I will say is this, my friend, when it comes to baseball, your Toronto Blue Jays, yeah, it's not been the best. I know. Tell me about it. But when it comes to the Lakers, I really see some good signs. As long as they stay healthy, I really see some good things. And the depth of this lineup is something that I think is going to be right now, at least in the first part, not going to be in question. But one of the things about this depth I wanted to ask you about is Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish, from my, I guess, talkings about on the show since December when they first people started going on the hype train on Cam Reddish. Lakers should get him. Lakers should get him because he kept bouncing from team to team. Again, this is a guy very athletic. Could play some pretty good defense if he chose to and got himself to do it. Very athletic, could be on a great team, could be great or key on a team that's very much reliant on transition as the Lakers have been in recent years. But the one thing that's always eluded him as far as is the half court game and the fact he's been a very poor shooter from outside, which has hampered his growth as a player. And a big part of the reason why he's jumped from team to team to team, or teams have moved on from him, team after team after team. Your thoughts on Cam Reddish? We haven't heard too much about him this training camp so far. Christian Wood a little bit here and there. In fact, he's the one that made comments on Max Christie and about how surprised he was at his game. But that means everybody's talking about Max Christie, or more people talking about Max Christie. The less people may be talking about, of course, Cam Reddish.
Yeah, absolutely, Gerald. So Reddish doesn't pass a lot either. That's another little wrinkle about Cam Reddish. Um, so you've got a player who Gerald is honestly shaky at best on the catch and shoot, like really shaky. Um, great athlete, like you said. Can run the floor like a gazelle, like a deer.
Yeah, he needs to Lakers in 5. He needs to run the floor and he needs to shoot 33 to 35% at the minimum from behind the three. Otherwise, he's not going to get a consistent burn on this team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no way. He's not. He's even not going to get kind of the on-ball opportunities he got with basically the Knicks and the Trailblazers
And
either,
the Hawks.
and the Hawks. So I mean, Gerald's right. If Reddish isn't capable and prepared to knock down those open catch and shoot opportunities, it's not going to work out. No matter how good his defense is, and no matter how well his locker room presence may be, he's got to be able to catch and shoot. In at least the like Gerald was saying, like 33, 34%. That's the minimum. That's like the Mendoza line for shooters, is that 33, 34%
And the
to
thing is, though, his defense, that for someone so athletic, his defense has not been where it needs to be. And for him to stay in this league, even if he can't shoot 33 to 34%, yes, he's athletic as all you know what out on the wings, but we have seen athletic players, Derek Jones Jr.,
Mhm.
he has bounced around the league and he's on the fringes of the NBA because he's been playing good enough defense and he's a great leaper, but he never found a shot. If he never finds a shot, Cam Reddish, it could be a tough go for him ahead, which is part of the reason I didn't want him first place on the Lakers. Remember, everybody was talking about it in our chat online, and I was just like, man, do you not see? Okay, I'm sorry you saw the 30 seconds on Twitter of his highlights for a slam dunk. That's great and all, but do you see the rest of the time that he's in there? He has to become a more transformative player and be able to play on both sides of the ball, or at least good enough and be effective enough that he can still have hope as a rotation player.
Yeah, absolutely, Gerald. There's, let's go through the elephant graveyard of kind of great perimeter players who had passable and very good defense but couldn't shoot.
Yeah.
Frank Ntilikina, Mo Harkless.
Who's still barely in the league.
So let's
Frank Ntilikina. So yeah.
yes. So you're really clawing and scratching just to make a living in the NBA right now. Even if you have great defense, if you can't shoot, you can't make a living in this league. Gerald said
Alex
that.
Caruso doesn't have a consistent shot, but he can play defense at a superior level, which is part of the reason why he is still a very much desired individual in the NBA. Cam Reddish has the athletic ability to do so. It's just the matter of drive. If he can never find a shot, consistent shot, he needs to become a defensive stopper some point in time in his career.
Yeah, absolutely, Gerald. Because right now, it
30% from behind the arc is not going to get it done.
it's not going to cut it. That's not passing the mustard
Yeah.
on any team. Look, he right now it's all sizzle and no steak with Cam until he starts shooting. Once he starts shooting, then that will really transcend his game. He can become a very different player, but that will take a lot of patience from him personally, and it will take an opportunity because right now the opportunity isn't going to present itself. There are 9 guys right now ahead of him in the rotation, and he's got to work his butt off in practice and wait for that opportunity to make the best of it.
Once again, it is the Magic Man, Sean Grice, the superstar from Let's Go Warriors earlier this evening, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much for watching and listening. After this, hopefully you will check out not only Lakers in 5, but Empire Jeff TV, but also as well, and John McKalen, but also as well, go ahead on over when you get a chance to his actual great appearance on Let's Go Warriors during their season preview right there. Let's Go Warriors, over 165,000 subscribers. Again, great time for Magic to go ahead. Great coverage for Magic. So definitely going to go ahead and just thank him for being a part of that. And yeah, I would let me know ahead of time more quicker so I could at least help you like kind of spread the word, my friend.
Yeah, I know, but I also had to deal with let's go Warriors and their schedule as well, Gerald. So
Okay, fair enough.
I tried to do my best there, but
Okay,
appreciate it, my friend.
no
Uh,
worries. I tried to do the best I can on short notice. So
you did fantastic. Thank you very much, Gerald.
Intel Wild in the super chat, and thank you so much, Intel Wild. Once again, truly appreciate your kind offering there in the super chat. Serious question for the chat room and the LFB. Who do you think will be the unsung hero and step up the season besides Braun and AD, obviously? Unsung hero, a lot of people might have Max Christie. For me, I would probably say the unsung hero would be Christian Wood. That's, I think, the one that, if he's the one that blows up the most, because I think we're going to get good play from Austin Reeves. I think we're going to get okay play from D'Angelo Russell. It's one day he's there, one day he's not. About 15-7. That's what I'm expecting from D'Angelo. That's good enough to get him by, no problem. Gabe Vincent's going to be steady as a rock, I believe, for us. But if Christian Wood can find that extra step, or if Cam Reddish can find a step, like we've seen from Malik Monk, who used the Lakers as a stepping stone, and more power to him for doing so, to a nice big contract to see him become a big time player with the Sacramento Kings. I think one of those two players, if they become a key, if they become the unsung hero, if they can step up consistently and be really, really great parts of the rotation and actually something that other teams have to worry about, my God, that this will make this simply will make us one of the best teams in the league, no doubt.
Yeah, 100%, Gerald. And in order to answer Intel's question, I'll have to agree with my fellow panelists. I think 1-2 is right there. I think Wood's probably the number one candidate to be the unsung hero, and then I agree with Gerald. I think Cam Reddish, just because there's so much smoke and
Because
mystery
this will be one of his last stops.
still surrounding us, and it's do or die time for Cam Reddish.
It's I don't want to say it's do or die time, because somebody else will take a chance on him. And if he flames out here, and Jackson Hayes, same thing. But it's getting closer and closer to the end of the line for those guys, even at such a young and early age, that it will probably bounce around for the rest of their careers if they don't start getting in the right path. They don't start heading down a right path sooner rather than later.
Right, because you want to, in order to collect a check free regularly, you usually have to average around 15 to 20 minutes minimum,
Yeah.
and be effective and or efficient and or available
Yeah.
dur- during that.
We're
But
not
yeah,
counting
Gerald,
Rui as a unsung hero, because the contract that you sign him on, you're not paying him to be an unsung hero. You're just paying him to go ahead and pay, do as well as the value of your contract, and we're good. We're all good with that.
absolutely, absolutely. I do like the kind of a mentor apprentice relationship there, Gerald, that
Mhm.
Kurt made with Daniel and Mr. Miyagi. That's not bad. That's not bad. Look, Rui working out with LeBron in the summertime is fantastic, Gerald. But we have to see the fruits of that on the floor.
Yes.
If it doesn't translate, it was all nice while it lasted, but it's about what have you done for me lately, and we're not worried about Rui at all. No, it's Rui's not an unsung hero. We know what Rui's capable of. I think a dark horse, Gerald, would be somebody who's not on the roster right now. That would be a dark horse for possible impact and unsung hero. Hey, look, nobody saw Matt Ryan coming last year and being our unsung hero. Uh,
He was so much of an unsung hero. He was unceremoniously dumped, and then now he's on a two-way in Minnesota. So
mm, yeah, but he's still
yeah,
trying.
he still made that. He was an unsung hero for one game. I'll give you one game. One game. There you go. But Jackson Hayes, I know, is getting a lot of pub because he obviously gives you the highlights as far as the dramatic block and the dramatic slam. but with Jackson Hayes, it's consistency. It's something about being able to or anchor a great defense coming off the bench. Can he do that? Because I see some similarities, some, not all, but Mo Bamba came in with some of that as far as potential, as far as hype, but then we saw he just does not have the court awareness to go ahead and get it done. I think Jackson Hayes is thought of in somewhat of that context on the defensive end. It's like, yeah, he could jump to the stratosphere, but if he's doing it from the other side of the court where the ball's actually at, it really doesn't help you too much. So, court awareness, I think, is the key for him. Do you think he'll be able to shore that up a little bit to make an impact on the defensive end for the Lakers?
I think he can do that sparingly, but I wouldn't expect it consistently. Good points there, Gerald. Yeah. Um, he could be really useful as far as his energy. Um, he's a fairly good offensive rebounder. He also has a knack for tipping balls out, which
Mhm.
tries to keep the play alive rather than commit. That's where one area where he has improved. Rather than commit a dumb foul, he would rather tip it out and try and one of his teammates get a 50-50 ball. But like you said, Gerald, oftentimes his high energy play is often used against him. Um, Being so energetic, when you have that high anxiety playing, it could be used against you. And like you said, Gerald, if you don't have the requisite, critical thinking that's required for microprocessing in the NBA, gonna look gonna look embarrassed once in a while. And yeah, he's kind of embarrassed himself in the Pelicans at times. Like I said, sparingly. I think if he was called upon to do that for 5 to 10 minutes, I think that's adequate asking from a Jackson Hayes. Anything more, I get concerned because of his efficiency really takes a dip. The Once you get up more beyond like the 20-minute mark with Jackson Hayes, he's just not an efficient player anymore, Gerald.
Well, the thing is, I agree with Kurt. We do have to temper our some of our expectations for some of these new players. It's a new offense to learn, new chemistry to develop. Some folks assimilate quicker than others, but it also is the fact that some of these players do have a lot at stake as far as possible futures in the NBA. Contracts are concerned, free agency for them, for a lot of these players are still on the line for them. That is with a lot of the players in the NBA. I mean, there are fan bases all over the world right now, or especially here in the States, with 29 other NBA teams. They're all saying, I like this guy. I think this guy can break out. Oh, this guy can break out. Realistically, Sean, not everybody on the Lakers that are on this roster now will ultimately break out and have a productive season that will get them more eyes on noticing on them if they hit free agency. The realistic goal is to go ahead and have an effective 9 to 10 man rotation with one or two players stepping up for you more than what you expected. Your thoughts on that? Because again, every fan base in Phoenix, the guys you talked to there, they're hoping that their supporting cast, one or two of those guys, oh yeah, I expect this guy to go ahead and step up or this guy to step up. Golden State, they're expecting hopefully good things out of Dario Saric or maybe one of those young players like Moody or Kaminga to finally go ahead and take that next step. We all have these expectations about the rotation players, but only very few of them actually ultimately pay off.
Yeah, I honestly, Gerald, that's so true. You're if you have an embarrassment of riches, sometimes you end up with an opportunity like Mark Dagnall had with the OKC Thunder, where you're so blessed with depth that you could play a 13-man rotation, an average of 15 to 17 minutes a night. Not like that with a contender. You have basically a finite amount of um, roster construction that you really only want to deal with come playoff time. Gerald's was hit the nail on the head. Anywhere from an 8 to an 11-man rotation at the most. Usually it's nine.
Really.
So with this 9-man rotation, Gerald, I like it a lot. I really do. I think it's strong. Um, but you're right. Not everybody is going to get a gold star at the end of the year. Jackson Hayes, Cam Reddish, Max Christie. Not all of them are going to get gold stars at the end of the year, Gerald. So I'm hoping a couple of them shine through, but I mean, really, the X factor is Max. It really is. He's going to be given every opportunity, and while I know that, well, if Cam Reddish and or Jackson have really great seasons, that's wonderful. That's great. When you look at the four main guys they've brought in who are basically on 1 years. It's Max, it's Cam, it's Jackson Hayes, and it's Christian Wood. I mean, if two of those guys break out and it's Max Christie and Christian Wood, doesn't take a genius to figure out who the Lakers are going to try and bring back. I think, Gerald, even if Cam and or Jackson have a really great season, it's a really great season for the Lakers. And like you said, it's a springboard for somebody a la Malik Monk to get a bigger contract.
I will say this, and we'll close out this part of the conversation because, yes, Intel, in the description, I did actually have this very conversation coming up here next. The one thing I will say is the Lakers, like a lot of these other teams, have a lot of reclamation projects, and very few of them will ultimately pay off. Phoenix, again, most of that roster is reclamation projects that you're hoping that will pay off for them because they've got a lot online because essentially all of them are on are free agents, or not all of them, but most of them are going to be free agents, or they'll have the options to be free agents next year. The Lakers have four key rotation players in Wood, Reddish, Hayes, and Christie, all vying for time, all vying for attention, for not only reasons to help the team, but for monetary reasons as well. So it's very important for them to go ahead and be able to go and provide some consistent help off the bench, because if they don't, or they're already on minimum salaries, all of them, they're already on very small salaries. That's going to be something that they're going to have to get used to if they don't do well this year.
100%, Gerald. And I'm sure if it gets to a point where one of them is really frustrated, they might be able to pull a Thomas Bryant and ask to be traded. But then we saw what happened with Thomas Bryant, Gerald. Uh,
I
Thomas
will say
Bryant.
though, I will be upset though if I hope Christie does hit Allen. But yes, you've heard me for quite some time now. I will be absolutely ticked off at Rob Palenka in a way that, because this is something you could have prevented after what happened last time with THT. Yeah, I know THT didn't quite work out, but THT didn't quite work out because he came out with a high price tag you paid 2 seasons before you really should have. And that's the problem right there. With Max Christie, it's just a problem of, hey, okay, this is something you could have prevented down the line. You watch him grow and mature, but you only gave him 2 years. You could say Lonnie Walker, the fourth contract caused all that. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. At the end of the day, you spent money to get into the second round to draft him. Putting him on only a 2-year contract was, I think, ultimately mistake. And if Allen has anything to say about as far as what his thoughts are on, I agree. If Max plays well, it's going to cost us a lot more next summer.
Yeah, I mean, Gerald. And by the way, everybody, uh, I will post a link in the description of a video that Gerald did where we discuss the Max Christie draft pick. But Gerald's thoughts are the same this evening as they were that night. 2-year contract is so short sighted, both in the short term and the long term. And like Gerald was saying, if you want to talk yourself into that, oh well, they had to finagle the finances to make the money. Blah 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 blah. We know
You
that
don't spend $4 million
$4 million
to
for one.
Orlando to get that pick just to put him on a 2-year contract. It just seems like it was just a short-sighted move. And that was really at the height of Rob making mistakes left and right. But again, it all depends. It won't look like so bad if he flounders this season, but if he hits like you, me, Alan, and a lot of our chat thinks he might be a good rotational player, or at least shows some promise, That's something that I think that, maybe ultimately Rob might regret.
100%, Gerald, because we do know that pretty much like around 60 to 75% of your best production as far as salary cap goes is on a rookie contract.
Yeah.
Usually the player starts hitting their stride around end of that second, beginning of that third year, and that contract that you've signed for a player, you get a lot out of their youth. But as Gerald was saying, Max Christie still not even hitting his prime yet.
Oh,
Maybe
he's not even
looking.
close yet.
Oh no. And now he's hitting unrestricted free agency. You haven't taken advantage of the fact that his best years would likely be under a rookie contract, and even if he popped, that second contract would still have value.
You
But
could have had
now,
You could have had Alex Caruso on a longer
look,
contract. You could have you
contract.
could have you could have had THT on a longer contract to see if that would work out, and a cheaper contract. You didn't have to go ahead and pay him as soon as you did, but these things, if Rob hopefully will do better. He did better with the Maxwell Lewis contract, so he's a
Hmm.
little bit more receptive of that. So I will give him credit for that because he's after three times, he's kind of learning from his mistakes there. And of course, we know how well he did on the trading front and obviously in free agency. So I'm giving him more and more credit. I'm going to do that. But you know what? In a way, I'm hoping this one bites him in the butt because that means Max Christie has a good season and so will the Lakers.
Yeah,
Actually, I
100%.
am.
100%, Gerald. That's what we should root for.
Yeah.
That it bit him in the ass,
Yeah.
and we're all the better for it because he's
Yeah.
gonna have to end up paying, not us. He's gonna have to end up going to Genie and saying, "Genie, I made a mistake. We really need to sign Max Christie."
There you go. Absolutely. And so if that's the case, we're hoping for that, but we'll see more as the days, as the exhibition season, as far as who might be in the rotation, who's going to get a good look, and who may ultimately come out as part of the Lakers rotation. But before we head on out, a couple more subjects to talk about, my friend. And one is the subject below that was mentioned right here in the super chat by Intel Wild. Most appreciative of it. And also, as well, if you want to go ahead and make sure your super chat is on the air, please go ahead at any point in time. Go ahead and put it away right there for you on the super chat on YouTube. It's Wintel Wild's asking, I'm sure you all heard by now about Joel Embiid saying he'll play for the U.S. in the Olympics. Any thoughts on that? And that's something we had in the description I had planned on for tonight's show, my friend. I really wish Joe was here. If there was an episode I wish Joe was here on, it was for this conversation that we were going to have right now, because Joe out there is not exactly thrilled. Okay, he's absolutely livid at the thought of other players going and playing for other countries' teams that have really not a very let's say close alignment or birth alignment with that specific country as far as direct and all, just like for instance what Kyle Anderson with China. I think that really was the one that bothered him the most. But from all over these teams that are getting players from the NBA that don't have a direct line there, although Klay Thompson and the Bahamas, I still think that's more legit because of obviously his father coming from the Bahamas and being such a part of that. So I kind of let that one be okay, but I don't have a problem with that one. But Joel Embiid stated today, because he did have an option on who he would play for in the 2024 Olympics, and he has decided to play for Team USA. That's awesome. He notified Grant Hill today that he is intending to play for the U.S. I am for me, it's okay. I mean, it would be great, as far as it's concerned, to have everything on the up and up when it concerned on this FIBA, but it's the real world, and I don't expect it anymore to happen. I expected, like, again, my sister's brother's cousin's next door neighbor was, of this descent. So that allows me to go ahead and play on your national team. That's pretty much what it comes down to these days. That's fine. Whatever. It makes for more interesting. It's all about money and TV, anyways, when it all comes down to it. So, your thoughts, my friend, on Joel Embiid being on the French national team? No, he's on the Team USA instead, going to Paris.
Oui, Gerald. The French could not secure Joel Embiid
I think
services.
that's because the fact that they've got a lot of 7-footers over there already, and the Team USA does not have a great plethora of skilled 7-footers outside of AD, Bam Adebayo, 6'10". You could say he's going to be whatever. There's not too many. Walker Kessler's not going to be at that level that soon, anyways. So he probably wouldn't make the team. I think it's a grand opportunity for him, and I can't say I blame him for jumping on Team USA.
No, not at all, Gerald. Given his reasons, he said his son is an American. Um, that was his main motivation. So he says, good for USA basketball, Gerald.
I don't want to do a Joe impression because I really would like hurt my vocal cords, so I don't really want to do that. I do the high pitch stuff. I just want to do like the "I'm mad at the world" that type stuff. That I'll let him do that. But
Yeah.
Sean, you can. You're more than welcome to.
Um,
But you're kind of laid back. Kind of laid
yeah,
back.
I'm a little too laid back, and I think if I got that gravelly throat voice, I think it could only last about maybe 15 seconds doing a Joe
Yeah,
impression.
absolutely. I mean, Mick Foley says he can't do some of the voices he could do back in his career. So yeah, I'm definitely want to go ahead and make sure I still have a career. So yeah, I'm going to avoid doing the Joe Soro voice for now, my friend. But continue on with what you're saying. So you're okay with it?
I am. I think
Okay.
this is a great move for Team USA basketball, Gerald. The MVP, the reigning MVP of the NBA, is gonna be the starting center for Team USA at the 2024 Olympics, Gerald, in Paris. Uh, I know that I'm sure there's not a huge anticipation in the world of basketball in America, Gerald, right now for 2024, but it is an arms race everywhere else.
Yeah, just like in the NBA, it's going to be an arm race heading towards the Olympics. Already heard rumors that Stephen Curry is being pushed and prodded to be going to Team USA. LeBron has already stated he's going to be in there, and health willing him, and he's going to drag AD into the Olympics as well. Kevin Durant, of course, he's got him on the hookup. Going to go, hey,
that
got to
that
come on
three
down.
that three
Devin
that
Booker.
yeah, but Gerald, I mean, God, you've got Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, and Bam Adebayo as your front court. That's gonna be
There you
tough.
go.
That's gonna
Problem
be
solved, my friend. Problem solved.
that's gonna be tough. I know Spain and France with Wemby are gonna be pretty formidable with their front courts, but that's a whole lot of depth
Because
there.
you got Rudy Gobert, Wemby. Yeah, those two will probably provide you some poundage against Embiid, but still, yeah, it's still, from the outside, you've got Durant, who could probably give you one more good Olympics. LeBron could give you one more good Olympics. A lot of good things to see. Again, if you have Stephen out there bombing away threes, you could have Damian Lillard on the team bombing away from three. Yeah, it kind of makes for a little bit more secure feeling. I'm not going to say it's a done deal as of yet. I ultimately have to see the lineup that goes to Paris,
Oh, and
but I
Gerald,
think it's a good opportunity.
yeah,
Your Canadian team ain't going to be too shabby as well.
no, not too shabby. We should be vying for a medal as well. But
Alan, though, I would say you're right. 4 years from now, 8 years from now, I don't know if the replenishment is going to be there because LeBron James is not coming out of that retirement home to come and save you at that point in time. But for now, he's going to be here for you. So, yeah, I agree with you, Alan.
absolutely,
2024 shouldn't be the concern. It's 2028 and 2032 should be the concern.
absolutely. And Gerald then mentioned this is that if you had Walker Kessler over there, why the hell didn't you play him?
Yeah. I mean, it was ridiculous that they didn't play him as much as they did. Only not giving him meaningful minutes, just should have given him a more of a look. I question a lot of things I saw at Team USA, and just was really kind of weird how that worked
For
out. But
a rookie had was fourth in blocks in the NBA drill and could barely get on the floor for Team America. Come on.
I do believe in Cooper Flag. I have seen footage of him. He looks really good. Boozer's kid looks really good. Holmgren. I heard there's some twins that also look pretty good out there. Not the Thompson
Mhm.
twins, but the other twins. I heard that there might be good out there, but the Thompson twins. But it just is not that stacked of Durant, Curry, LeBron, Embiid, that you could throw out there that really just, say, oh yeah, that's a
It's
clincher
not
for
a lot
us.
of name recognition. You're
Yeah,
right,
not
Gerald.
yet,
Yeah,
and not yet
not
anyway.
yet.
Yeah, we'll see how that develops because in 2028 it could be a different story by then, and I could be more at ease. But we'll see what happens. But I'm okay with Joel Embiid. I'm okay with any of these players want to play for a different country. Even Kyle Anderson going and heading to play for China if he wants to do that. Yeah, if he wants to get the experience, hell, if you just want to do it to get the summer full of work in and have somebody else fit the bill for it, fine. Go ahead and do that. I know Joe has an issue for with it as far as because from a patriotism standpoint, but in 2023 and now in 2024, you're finding less and less of that as far as the ways things used to be to the way things are now. I mean, you could go ahead if you're FIBA and really clamp down on that, but then you're just only shooting yourself in your own foot because of all the money and revenue you'll lose because you'll have all those star players not playing for those teams.
Yeah, absolutely, Gerald. That's the cash cow for FIBA. Is the more star players available, the more cash flow they're going to have. Absolutely. Thompson Twitch.
Oh, there you go.
That's funny,
They've
Kurt.
already heard, I'm sure, all those references already. I actually like the Thompson twins. I like their body of work. They really were cool from, but then again, a lot of my upbringing was 80s and 90s stuff anyways. But yeah, Thompson twins, I will never argue with you on that. Hopefully they will provide a comeback, and maybe they are still playing out there as far as in concerts, but we'll see what happens with the Thompson twins for Team USA down the road because I have a feeling they will play for Team USA down the road. But for now, Joel Embiid is looking like he's going health willing, being a member of Team USA. So I'm looking forward to that. And you don't seem to have a problem with it too. Next time we get Joe here on the air, please remind me, chat room. Please remind me, Magic Man, because that might be a rant that you all want to hear. And if that's the case, we'll definitely have him on. He's not even in the chat, so it tells you he's busy. Because the one word he told me today is busy. He is busy, legit. When he's not even in the chat talking smack, that tells you he is busy doing something, whether it's Simblades related, whether it's corrupt related, whatever. He's doing something Joe Soro related. So definitely want to make sure we ask him about Joel Embiid, Magic Man, or the chat. Please remind me the next time he's on the show because we'll definitely hear his thoughts indeed. But glad to hear everybody's thoughts out there in the best Lakers chat room, the Lakers Fast Break. But before we head it out, my friend, I think the part of the show that you and I really wanted to get to, and that's the little bit of going back and forth between the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Lakers, continuing the theme here most of the week as far as trying to generate something of interest coming out of Lakers training camp that reporters can sink on their teeth into, and that is the little bit of rhetoric that has taken place over the course of the past few days in regards to the comments made by both Anthony Davis and also as well Austin Reeves when it comes to what they're talking about as far as being very excited for a matchup, the opening game matchup against the Denver Nuggets, because they're looking forward to it, to say, because of the smack talk that was talked about with that by Denver during the course of their run, and they did proceed to go, especially their coach Michael Malone. And Michael Malone this week providing a little bit more onto that by saying, "Oh, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't remember any smack talk I talked. I don't know anything about that." Paraphrasing, mind you, but you know, he's denying what he said previously just a short bit ago when it's all on video and it's all on audio. It's all right there for you. So he's trying to totally deny it. So your thoughts on this, my friend, because it seems right now in Lakerland, when we talk about Michael Malone, not necessarily the Denver Nuggets, we do want to beat them, but Jokic, okay, Jokic is Jokic, he's just chill, runs his horses, comes here, and he's just an outstanding center. Murray talks a little bit, but he wasn't the level of Bruce Brown, who they let go. So they don't really have a super smack talker per se. You could say Murray might take a little bit of that, but Michael Malone, him just trying to play these continual mind games, Does that make him behind it, get winning a championship? Does that make him Lakers most wanted number one?
Right now it does, Gerald. Yeah. And you know what? We don't really focus on clowns, but when you're trying to clown us, prepared to be pwned, and that's I think the message that should be sent loud and clear, Gerald.
Yeah, I
Uh,
agree with Bloodhound. He's a thorough Jokic is a thorough professional. He just goes in there, does his work. He got himself into shape, deserved the MVP. That he won, two MVPs that he won, transformed the way he has been playing the center position. I got nothing but respect for him. I'll give you that on that all day long. He has not gone and done smack, talked any smack. He just said, you know what, just let me win basketball games and then be done with it.
yeah, Aaron Gordon just ripping off the tarp and celebrating in front of the stadium, Gerald. I didn't mind that either. I found that pretty
That's just
funny.
that's just in the moment
I
because there's
just
not a
found
consistent
to
line. If there's
line
not
up,
a
yeah,
consistent line, like Dylan Brooks, there's a consistent line of being an idiot continuously. That's why we
yes,
kept on calling him an idiot continuously, is because he kept on acting like it. Aaron Gordon, he in the moment, they just swept the Lakers. Yeah, okay, you're going to go ahead and get caught up in the emotion. No problem. Did he continue to talk smack after it? If he did, I'm not aware of it. Bruce
no,
Brown, he did talk smack about it, but then he backed it up in that finals by owning Duncan Robinson to the point where it got so bad it was put on Wikipedia that he was that he was doing so bad. So I will say this really, really just most of the Denver Nuggets I have no problem with. Denver Nuggets, maybe when he's here, truly a great amount of respect for him. Cool McCain has been a great part of
yeah,
our conversations.
yeah.
But when it comes to Michael Malone, yeah, that guy needs to start keeping his mouth a little bit more shut.
Yeah, it's not only it's a form of
Although
gaslight.
Intel Wild in our super chat said, "I so want to see Malone shut his mouth this season. Keep talking, buddy."
Yeah, it's like it's a common case now, Gerald. We've seen this before with gaslighting. It's you basically you start the fire, you light the match, and then you just turn around
He'll
and
say
forget.
we did.
Yeah,
He'll do
yeah.
bully Joel. We didn't
You
start the
start the
fire.
fire. I knew you were gonna do that. But yeah, it like this is a perfect example of Darvo. Deny, attack, reverse, victim, offend. Oh! It's the Lakers. It's the Lakers who have us on their mind.
And
It's
Darvin
it's
Ham is feeding into this a little bit, and he's playing this up a little bit in regards to that. So he's feeding a little bit of this for Lakers
it's a
fans
good
and his team.
promo. It's a good
Yeah,
promo by both of them, I must say. I think it's more like you said, Gerald. I think it's a little bit more fun for for
yeah,
Ham. I
yeah.
think I think Malone's just taking it way too seriously, personally. Um, but you got to back up what you say. If you want to be on that cinnamon whiskey uh, for about 4 hours and not remember what you said, but everybody else heard what you said, Michael. Loose
What
lips sink ships.
Frank Vogel, again, I always go back to it. When we dominated them in the bubble for the Western Conference Finals, I didn't hear one thing from Frank Vogel outside of respect for the Nuggets. And that's just who he is. He's a respectful person, low key, doesn't try to go ahead and do anything undermining, doesn't try to send mixed messages, doesn't send any backhanded compliments. He just goes out there, does his business. And I always respect him for that. Darvin Ham, I like because he's got a little bit of an edge because he gets it. We it took some time to go ahead on the coaching end to get it, but he was starting to get it by the end of the season. Obviously, that helped. How far he will take this team under his guidance is still yet to be remain to be seen. But as far as the PR end, he's been around long enough as an assistant coach and a player. He gets that part of the game. He gets the mind games, and he's actually been a part and seen so much of that so far in the league. So I get that. So that's fine. It plays it up a little bit. But I also don't want this season to try to be won or lost in the first game. This is an 82 or an 83 game season for a couple teams. An 80 plus game season leading into a 4 5 round playoffs, a 4 round playoffs that you're going to be playing. In some cases, 5 of you playing play-ins. So it just seems to me like maybe we shouldn't try so much effort to concentrate on the opening game. Just get in there, get the win, go home, move on with the season, because most people will forget about the first game of the season come March and April and focus in then on the playoffs.
Yes, that's true in and of itself. I
I'm,
agree.
I'm just worried about that burnout. I'm just worried if the Lakers will get so hyped up and will win the game on Denver that they'll end up expending all that energy and emotion and come out flat against Phoenix
Yeah,
when they 2 days later.
you think it'll be a an energy drain, Gerald?
If they become too emotional, you've seen it, my friend. You've seen it. We've seen it both, and especially for the regular season, where you're going to have your highs and lows over the course of the season.
Hundred
I just
percent.
I would love a message to be sent to both of those teams, and with 2 wins early on, that says you need to count the Lakers in and right there for you when they're healthy, because hopefully, God willing, they'll be healthy going into both those matchups and be able to come out on top. And if they do, that's going to send a message to not only those two highly thought of teams, but also the rest of the league, that the Lakers need to be thought of in that first tier of teams for a world championship.
I agree with that. I think Gerald, we do live in a 24-hour news cycle. So as you said, a lot of people will look at um, that first game as a distant memory, like you said, come February and March. That being said, uh, you know what, Gerald? Being 2-0 in in the confines of a cannibalistic conference. I mean,
That's what I want the most right now. It's just get
that
off
would
to a
be
good start.
that would be jet fuel for not only optimism but belief as well. And
Coming
it's
off
not.
the memorial service that was last year at 2
Yeah.
and 10,
Mhm.
where it was basically this show and that chat room was a funeral parlor, essentially. I felt like we
Mhm.
all needed to, I should have suggested to you guys that we all dress in black because it was just so bleak at that point in time. I want it to be the opposite of that and have a consistent feel all season long. That's my hope.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think we stayed the 14th team for like almost a calendar year, Gerald.
Yeah.
So that was a little much for
Yeah.
all of us. It
I,
took all the patience in the world for us to show up. And believe you me, there were nights where I'm sure Gerald just did not want to come here. Just did
there was
not.
many nights, to be honest with you, but it was our commitment to trying to grow this brand, to try and grow what we were doing, to be here. And I said before, and I say it again, we're going to be here in good times and bad times. As Lakers fans, you have to embrace that highs and lows. We were very fortunate our first year in existence to get the world title. I mean, it was great and it all worked magic, but we have seen some highs and lows in the years since, Magic Man. We've been through some real highs and lows. And, if you're a Lakers fan, I don't want to say if you're a true Lakers fan, because if you're a Lakers fan, you're going to be a Lakers fan regardless. There's people that always hop on the train when the Lakers are doing good, and that's fine and dandy. That's fine. But when it comes to what we're seeing here with the Lakers, I just want a healthy season from this rotation, because if we get that where they're relatively healthy all year long, more than most teams in the NBA, that could really bode well for us for a really strong season to come.
100%, Gerald. Absolutely agree. And yeah, we're here, win or lose. More losses than wins, like as Gerald has said, since the first year from the World Championship. But it's just about growing this community and being there when they need us the most.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I've oftentimes, please guys, use this channel as a vent when things go bad, because we love it, win or lose.
And tell Wild with a, oh, go ahead.
I will say this, Gerald. Um, Blood just had a comment about the McNuggets being in the vat sauce. So, what's the best sauce that McDonald's offers?
It's that Szechuan sauce. They're actually, I think, aren't they bringing it back? Because actually, if you watched season 2 of Loki, episode 1 tonight, I will say, hint, hint, at somewhere point in that first episode, there is a McDonald's McNuggets reference. I won't say where it is because that's spoilers, but it is there. But I think it's that Szechuan sauce that everybody goes crazy for. For me, it's about the hot mustard, but okay, I'll take what it is.
Yeah, I like the hot mustard, the buffalo sauce. That those would be my two picks.
Intel Wild says they should change their name. New name will be the McNuggets going forward.
That's pretty good.
Yes.
That's pretty
Uh,
good. I will say this though. I mean, they are the presumptive favorites
they should be.
coming in as defending champions. Absolutely. A lot hinges on health with them.
It's on all these teams.
Hundred
All these teams.
percent. Hundred
I think
percent.
more so because all these teams are top heavy. The Lakers are the only one with a really deep bench of the top six teams in the NBA. I think they have the deepest bench of the top six teams in the NBA. So they could handle a little bit more injuries than most. But even if LeBron and AD get hurt, they're going to be severely impacted as well. But all of these teams, if they get a major injury with a big time player, it could affect their season and alter it in a direction they don't want to see.
Yeah, absolutely, Gerald. The two teams I would put at the top of that list would be Denver and the Bucks. Um, Anything happens to Giannis's knee or Brooks' back, I think it's not lights out and it's not a funeral procession, but you're really not liking their chances. With Denver, I think either one of Jokic or Murray, if something happens with one of them, same thing. I think both of those teams probably have the top, I would say 5 to 6 on the rosters, the Bucks and Denver. But like Gerald was saying, any key injury just will jettison them down to another tier.
Once again, it's the Lakers Fast Break. It is the Magic Man, Sean Grice, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Before we head on out, again, we've got a great weekend coming up for everyone out there. Friday, we got a great show, as always, talking about what's going on with the Lakers. Saturday, oh, we've got a lot in store for you, my friends out there. First up, 3 p.m. on Saturday, it is Lakerholic Spotlight. Already started that, already got that underway, already got that scheduled with the guys from Lakerholics. So Laker Tom's going to be there. Sean Grice is going to be there. Hopefully Jamie Sweet, the Lakerholics, maybe even Laker Nick and Joe Sorrell. Hopefully will be there as well. Of course, that leads you into 5:30, our coverage of the Lakers and Golden State in the first exhibition game of the season. That'll be on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Once again, that's playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. And then afterwards, of course, the best post game for the Lakers that's out there. No, it's not Lakers Nation. No, it's not any other Lakers channel. It's right here. You know it. We know it. Everybody knows it. It's the Lakers Fast Break. Definitely going to go ahead and enjoy. Yes, we've been doing it now for quite some time, and we're going to keep at it this year. Truly enjoying everything that's we've been doing as far as our post games, and we think that the one area that we do better than anybody else, it is the Lakers post games right here for you at the Lakers Fast Break. Sunday, we've got a very special Lakers 101 interview for you. And also, I did it as a surprise to Magic Man Sean Grice, and I hope Joe Sorrell as well. I hope he read. He hasn't even read my emails today, which is, he's been busy if something's going on like that. But I've got a great guest coming on Sunday morning, 9 a.m., which I know for a lot of you guys out there, you're going to be still sleeping or you're going to be setting your lineups for fantasy football. Remember, bye week, week 5. Got to remember, look at your lineups. If you can't catch it live, please catch it sometime on Sunday because we have a great Lakers 101 coming up with author Rich Cohen. He made a book recently that came out last month, When the Game is War, the NBA's greatest season, which, in his determination, after doing a lot of research, interviews, which he will talk about on the show, is the 1987-88 season, which gets me pumped up. Makes me look at my Lakers t-shirt right there, 1988 World Champions back-to-back shirt I've got hanging up right there from 1988. So definitely want to go ahead and be able to. I'm waking up early because that's early for me on a Sunday morning. I'm waking up early to go ahead and talk to him. If you can't, I understand, but please, at some point in time, go ahead and check out our Lakers 101. We're going to go ahead and do that for you on 1987-88, and if that was the greatest year in the NBA. Magic Man, that's my gift to you and Joe, since you guys are the encyclopedias. I should call you World Book and Britannica. One of you, which World Book, one of us Britannica, whichever one you like. Go ahead and do that, my friend. But what are your thoughts on that before we head on out?
Two thoughts. One, I loved the series final, which
And
Rick.
Darren, you're probably right. I do like long goodbyes. Go ahead.
I did enjoy the
I like promos. I like doing a lot of promos just to remind you what's coming. So
I did enjoy the HBO show Vinyl that Rick was associated with,
yeah, you
Gerald.
mentioned that. Yeah, they
Yeah,
gave that a quick axe.
yeah,
That was
but
out.
it was really great. Also, just wanted to say for Gerald to schedule this at 9 a.m. Uh, obviously Gerald is the best and most accommodating host we have on the internet. But for this man to get up at 9 a.m., sacrificing sleep for the good of Lakers Fast Break, ladies and gentlemen, please tune in for this very, very special interview. And thank you very much, Gerald, for hooking this up, because for Gerald to sacrifice sleep for the Lakers Fast Break, that means he loves us, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's just something that when I heard him on another interview and I got to do a little bit more investigation today on his work, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to reach out and try because it's always nice bringing author Jeff Pearlman. We brought on Jeff Pearlman before he became Jeff Pearlman, with Winning Time and all that. So we got two chances to talk to him. If you look in the archives, there's two interviews I have with Jeff. And also, we have another great interview later this month with another great author coming up here that we want to go ahead and put we'll tell you about here in the coming weeks, so that's coming up later in the month. But yes, Sunday, definitely looking forward to Rick Cohen to talk about if 1987-88 was the best year in the NBA, as he is stating in his new book. If you want to go ahead and get it ahead of time, for those out there on, of course, Amazon, Audible, if you want to go ahead and check it out on your Kindle, if you got one still, When the Game is War, the NBA's Greatest Season by Rich Cohen. It's available right now, $13.99 in Kindle. Audiobook is $6 and hardcover is $20. So not too bad, not too bad price. And you can actually the Kindle price right now, again, like I said, is under $14. So there you go. Great deal indeed. Go ahead and check that out. And hopefully you'll be prepared, or if you can check it out after you watch our interview with Rich Cohen, hopefully you get a chance to go and enjoy it. And let us know your thoughts whenever you do read the book, if you agree that 1987-88 was the best season ever for the NBA. Sean, it's been a great episode. Any last thoughts, my friend, before we head on out?
Great show, Gerald. Covered all the bases. Really enjoyed it tonight. Great, great, great crowd again. We have the best Lakers shot on the internet.
I'm telling you, my friends out there, please, if you get a chance after we go off the air, go ahead and check out this man right here. That guy right there. That guy right there. Really, it's so hard to do that with the camera and all that because you're always
Yeah,
pointing in the
yeah.
wrong direction. Yes. That guy right there, Sean Magic Man Grice, he was on Let's Go Warriors. He absolutely killed it. He even had the Warriors fans impressed with him. That's how good it was. So please go check him out. Let's Go Warriors. I'm truly thankful that he had the time to go ahead and do. They plugged our show, which is the most important thing for all of us here. So because it gets us more notoriety. I'm not going to be dishonest with you out there, but I'm just so thankful that he got a chance and opportunity to be there. We Talk Mavs has been great. They've been retweeting our stuff. The guys from Phoenix, you were on their show. My God, man, you're going to become the NBA aficionado for the Lakers Fast Break.
It feels good. It feels good, Gerald. We're building up something fierce here. It's strong. I can feel it.
Intel Wild, get a chance, check out his book. He's got detailed reasons why. It includes Jordan in there as a big reason why that year was, in his estimation, the best. Because about all the players at that time. And like I say, he'll go into it on the Lakers 101 on Sunday. So Sean is a GOAT indeed. Definitely a great part of what we do here at the Lakers Fast Break. So for Magic Man Sean Grice and a busy Joe Soro, it's Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much for watching, listening. We'll see you tomorrow. We're going to bring you whatever news the Laker comes out of Lakers camp heading into their first exhibition season game coming up there. I'm also trying to go ahead and get a Boston Celtics redo with Jonathan Quinn. Hopefully, I can get a confirmation on that. That may come as early as this weekend as well. So hopefully, I can get an answer on back yet, but we'll wait and see. But for Sean Grice, it's Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much for watching this thing. We'll see you tomorrow with another great episode of the Lakers Fast Break Podcast, the best Lakers chat room that's out there, and also the best action, the best entertainment, and the best Lakers news that's out there can only be found at one place right here, the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Have a good evening, everybody. Stay safe.